Raise your hand if you've ever struggled with the social climbing thing. And just be honest, like, I'm about to run this lesson. You will never forget this as long as you live. I'm about to run this lesson down because y'all know I literally love history. I love psychology, okay? Do you know who the biggest social climber in the history of the earth is? Anybody? Okay, Mel says Cleopatra. Any other guesses? Men? Any other guesses? Okay. Do you want to know who it is? The biggest social climber in the history of the entire world is the United States of America. Are you ready for this lesson?
I'm ready. As an American, I'm ready.
Okay. Mel, think about it this way. If a country can do it. All right. So we have somebody by the name of Christopher Columbus. He comes to the U.S. He thought he was in India. Okay. Somehow magically ended up in the United States, where he attaches himself to who? He ingratiates himself to who? The Native Americans. Okay? So he gets to the natives. They feed him. They show him medicine. They do all of these things. They make space for him. They welcome him. And he's like, okay, bet. Now I need to dip and I need to go tell them over here. Okay, I think it was Spain. Yeah. And go tell them what I found. Okay, by total accident. Okay, so he goes back to Spain. He's like, listen, I need some more money and I need some resources. Humans, capital. To go back, make this journey, we're going to set up shop over here, okay? So they get back, they go chat up the natives that they met before, and they're like, hey, we want to live here, okay? We want to elevate our social standing. And do you have any land that we can, set up shop on? The Indians were like, oh, yeah, sure, you can take this. We can share a little bit with you. Oh, thanks. Maybe we could, have a meal together and get together. The Indians are like, yeah, sure. Okay, have Thanksgiving. Little did they know, okay, next ships arrive. Now, all of a sudden, the Indians are feeling a little uncomfortable. They're like, I feel like you keep moving us. Like, more of you are coming, and like, I don't understand what's happening. And then all of a sudden, more and more come, and then the women start arriving, because, they need the women, right? You can't go too far. And so, then they're like, the second shipment, third, fifth, 100th shipment, they bring in the guns now. Well, now we got a problem. Okay, now the Indians are like, no, too many, we're no longer friends. And they were like, yeah, no, I guess we're gonna take over now. Thank you for showing us everything, teaching us everything, educating us, feeding us, housing us. But we're done here, our business is done. Social climb experiment number 1. America 1, natives 0. Who's following me right now? Who is following me right now?
I am picking up what you are putting down.
Okay. Social climbing experiment number 2. Now they've got all this land. They drove the Indians further west and down to Mexico and Central and South America. Okay. Now they're like, oh, we have to keep expanding west, right? So they bring in more people and they just they go through 13 colonies and they just keep heading west. Meanwhile, the natives are being moved to Oklahoma and Kansas and the plains, anywhere in the Midwest. They can go there. Like, we don't love it there. We don't need to set up there. Okay, we're over here on the East Coast. And so all of a sudden, you've got like this huge divide. Okay, you've got guns, you've got drugs, they're bringing over their diseases. They're bringing over, they're raping people and they're pillaging and they're killing and they're scalping and they're doing all of these really up things to people that they originally needed to attach themselves to. For what? For survival. Tell me that's not social climbing, okay? Number 2, now they're taking over, okay? They are running, they are building cities, they are establishing, order and doing all of these things. Well, now we're tired, okay? We're burnt the out. We need somebody to manage this. So they go over the western coast of Africa because they had heard, right, through all of the European countries that had slaves that like, oh yeah, we could just bring slaves over and then they can do all the work, okay? So they brought the slaves over to do all the work, therefore raising their what? Social standing, because they were no longer workers. They were now owners of the plantations. Okay, so that's social standing raised the second time. Okay, the first time was killing off all the Indians. The second time was bringing the slaves over. Okay, now they have something that they didn't have before. They got more capital. They got more income than they could ever imagine from the purchasing of products and people and making them do all the work. So now they can afford to develop their own version of aristocracy. Okay, now with the help of England, okay, they've used the infrastructure from Great Britain, and they've applied it to the US. Okay, now obviously it was all owned for the most part. All of the systems and stuff that we have set up to this day, we owe to England. Okay, they had to attach themselves to England next in order to get to the third level of the social climate. Okay, now they've tapped into England. They've got their planning, their projects planned. They've got roads figured out, infrastructure, taxes figured out. They've got all that laid out with the help of England. Okay, now England was benefiting, obviously. England was expanding, just like the Roman Empire. Okay, so now America is like attached to England. So we're like, okay, we're legit now. We've cleared out the Indians. We brought in the slaves, and now we're basically like, we're the offshoot of England. We're New England. Y'all tracking? We're getting to the 4th and 5th level, and then that's it. At some point, they were like, we don't really love England anymore. Like, I don't really feel it anymore. We're gonna do a little revolution. July 4th, 1776, we're gonna just gain a little independence. We're gonna separate ourselves. We don't need them anymore. We've gotten everything that we need from them. Okay, this is like your first or your fourth husband. Okay, or if you're smart, this is your first husband. Okay, you got everything you need from him, and you're really good for the rest of your life. Okay, after they separate from England, they're like, okay, we're gonna become the superpower. So they did that. They used all of their banking power. They used all of their money that they generated during the slave trade years and that whole fiasco. They benefited from all of the land from the Native Americans that they relocated them from, and they built out this powerhouse of a country. Y'all know America's only like 250 years old, okay? So to do this in 250 years requires some social climbing, would you say? Once they got to be the powerhouse, they were like, okay, so we've got the money now, but like, seriously, nobody respects us. Like, and I'm not sure why. Like, what's that about? And so they decide, we're gonna tap into England one more time, okay? Because we've got the money, but we really don't have like the social standing, like the pinnacle of social standing. So you got all these families who have daughters, and they marry off their daughters to the dukes and princes and European aristocracy because they have the money, but they needed the title to secure their dynasties. That is how America became the biggest social climber in the history of social climbing. Any questions?